Hey, this video is different from a lot of my other ones. I mean, there's still horses, crappy drawings, and I'm talking about music, so it isn't that different. But it is. It is now time for the real intro. For a lot of my life, I've been mostly into classical music and video game music. Still am, but I've been getting into normal people music more recently, and it's been fun expanding my horizons. I've also found some weird behavior, both online and in real life. People obsessed with ranking and rating albums, telling you need these 3 in your collection. I mean, I kinda get it. I make the occasional topster for fun, and I've been doing that whole 1001 album project to find cool music. But I think all of this stuff is missing a big point of enjoying music. Personal experience. I'm gonna be talking about my favorite albums, and why they became my favorite albums, often for extraneous, non-musical reasons. Here's my cool listicle. I don't like how much the word listicle sounds like a combo of lick and testicle. I was at a Super Bowl party talking to my dad's friend about people who are one-man bands. He recommended 9 Inch Nails and Beck. A few minutes later, I fell in a pool and destroyed my phone. I lost all my contact info, photos, and notes in the process. But that doesn't really have anything to do with the story. I listened to Pretty Hate Machine and Odelay, and I really like them, especially Odelay. It's a very eclectic album featuring folk, hip-hop, screaming through a megaphone, screaming through a walkie-talkie, screaming through a what in the world, screaming normally, and much more. There are 2 things I learned from Odelay. It made me realize I really don't give a rat's ass about genres. I like music that has proficiency and surprises, and Beck has a lot of both. It made me explore genres which I've previously put aside, and I found some pretty great stuff as a result. Number 2 is sometimes a recommendation from a friend is all you need to make an album special. Wait, I said that wrong. Sometimes a recommendation from my dad's friend is all you need to make an album special. I realize I just said that old spiel about giving genres a try, but I admit I always had a weird relationship with jazz. I'm competent at it, I studied it for a while and know how to solo and all, but I don't like it very much. I like stuff adjacent to jazz, like fusion, jazz rock, jazz rap.
That pussy got me screaming, crying, pissing, shitting, shooting ropes. I hope them aliens are real so that I have more things to fuck.
And jazz folk, but not the pure stuff most of the time. That being said, I've always liked Bill Evans. Bill Evans is my former piano teacher's favorite jazz musician, and is also one of mine. He's mostly known for bridging the music of impressionist classical with jazz bebop. This stuff is cool, but his sense of rhythm is really incredible. While most jazz musicians play behind the beat, Bill Evans is one of the few who plays ahead of the beat and somehow makes it sound right. I really dug into his solo album, Alone, in high school after I got rejected for the first time. The name of the album definitely influenced my decision. I played the album on my headphones and on the piano. Having music that was so sublimely crafted to dig into after experiencing emotional stuff was super helpful for both my mental state and musicianship. Thank you, Bill Evans. Back during the pandemic, I used to watch these Twitch streams from a musician called Anomaly. Anomaly's a great pianist from Canada that made electronic beats on stream and would solo on them for a while. It was fun to watch. Someone in the chat asked who he was currently listening to, and he said Tennyson. Tennyson is an electronic brother-sister duo from Canada, with the brother Luke on production and vocals and the sister Tess on drums. They made a lot of really great EPs, but in 2022 released the album Rot, which has incredible production. Rot is a very personal album, with Luke providing vocals on many of the songs. He'll process his vocals in interesting ways too, with
pitch shifting,
formant
shifting,
feedback automation, all in ways that serve the songs. Rot was an inspiring album for me. It shows that even after developing a hearing condition, you can still make beautiful music. And it was really cool to see when I was learning how to use my digital audio workstation. I was also listening to this around the time COVID restrictions were loosening in my area, so I kind of associate this album with freedom. I wish I could say the same about them in Canada. One day in high school, I walked into the band room and our jazz band bass player was playing a cool riff. I asked him what it was and he said The Lung by Hiatus Kaiyote, so I checked it out. Hiatus Kaiyote is a neo-soul band from Australia, and their music is very rich and dense, especially on Choose Your Weapon. Now some people might be raising eyebrows at this pick and going, Joe, are you a Berkeley Core fan? To explain to the folks at home, Berkeley Core is to music as the Triforce t-shirt and khakis is to fashion. And you know what? I don't consider Hiatus Kaiyote, or Snarky Puppy for that matter, to be Berkeley Core, for one reason. I personally enjoy it. Nah, Hiatus Kaiyote gets pretty musically complex, which can definitely draw in the jazz kids. I get it, I'm a music nerd. Counterpoint was one of my favorite classes in university. It was like Sudoku, but for music. We're gonna do new Sudoku, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, this is a good Sudoku! But to me, the main draw of Hiatus Kaiyote is the great songs and cool riffs. What I'm trying to say is I'm not some theory guy that's all like,
oh my flippin' science, he did a flarp shat chord, I'm soying out!
Sorry. Sometimes I just like to sit back and say, hey, that sounded cool. Choose Your Weapon was the first album I bought. Unless you count Do You Like Waffles? Yeah, I like waffles from when I was a grade schooler. I found Boards of Canada because a YouTuber I like was a fan. Not the first time that's happened. Mello, the main guy from the channel, also made background music in his videos that was similar to Boards of Canada, so I was somewhat familiar with the sound before diving in. There's something quite unique about Boards of Canada's approach to electronic music. I can describe what I'm hearing, but it doesn't really explain what's going on. You have the various methods of tape recording and sample choices, the use of chromatic contrary voice leading to create ambiguous harmonies, micro variations from phrase to phrase, whether it's a dropped pad or a reverse drum fill. It's all greater than the sum of its parts. I stole this McMuffin metaphor from the same YouTuber I found Boards of Canada through. Music Has the Right to Children is my favorite, and the Campfire Head phase is also really amazing. Also, they're making a new album. It releases on Friday. It's been 13 years. I really hope it's better than their last album. Sorry, wrong picture. My bad. It's a new, crisper direction, and it'll be interesting to hear. I'm excited. I remember when I was a little kid, I liked to do-do-do da 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 da. But for some reason, I stopped listening to them. Then one day I was jamming with friends on Murder by Numbers, which is a very unique sounding song. Speaking of, let's check on that Sudoku game. This can never be done. Murder by Numbers is jazzy and dissonant, with this off-kilter drum beat with a kick on 2 and 4. A couple days later, I learned the drummer Stuart Copeland was the composer for Spyro. A couple more synchronicities like this happened, so I checked out Synchronicity and was instantly grabbed by the title track, the weirdness of Mother, and the fun of Miss Gradenko. Then the 4 hits in a row played, and I was hooked. In fact, I'd go as far as to say listening to The Police was the catalyst that broke me out of the classical music vortex I'd been stuck in for years, and opened the door to me enjoying normal people music as a whole. I checked out the rest of their discography, both solo careers and as The Police, and to this day, my favorite album is Reggatta de Blanc. It isn't a perfect album. The tag at the end, A Message in a Bottle, goes on too long. Two of the songs are variations of Can't Stand Losing You from the previous album. Andy Summers whiffs a few notes in Bring on the Night. There's some wrong piano notes in Does Everyone Stare? But none of that stops me from enjoying this album. My personal experiences of jamming with friends, playing Spyro, and doing a deep dive is what made this my favorite album. I'm not exactly recommending any of this music. I think it's cool if you decide to check it out and you like what you hear. The main reason these are my favorite albums is because I can tie them back to personal anecdotes. Have your own reasons to have your favorite albums. I encourage you all to have your own personal experiences and find cool things you connect with. Individuality has been in a weird place these past few years, and it's important not to confuse individualism with isolation. Jam with some buds, listen to music with friends, fall into a pool, have a wonderful day.